You think you know why people hurt you. You think it's about them being toxic or narcissistic or whatever label helps you sleep at night. Wrong. Dead wrong. The reason people keep wounding you over and over in the same damn ways, it's because you're walking around psychologically naked. No defenses, no awareness. Just raw, exposed nerves waiting for the next person to come along and press exactly the right buttons. And they will. Oh, they will. Because here's what Jung discovered that nobody wants to hear. Every single person who triggers you, who gets under your skin, who makes you lose your mind, they're holding up a mirror, and you hate what you see. That's why you curse. Not because they're evil, because they're showing you the parts of yourself you spent your whole life trying to bury. Your mother criticizes you and you're 8 years old again. Your boss dismisses your idea and suddenly you're worthless. Someone ghosts you and boom, you're unlovable. Same wound, different weapon. You want to know why the same types keep showing up, why you keep dating the same person in different bodies, why your friendships follow the same miserable script. Because you're not conscious. You're sleepwalking through your psychological life, and everyone else can see the buttons you don't even know you have. Jung called it the shadow. That dark basement of your psyche where you shoved everything you couldn't face about yourself. And until you go down there with a flashlight, no, a floodlight, people will keep using your own unconscious against you. They don't even mean to, half the time. They're just being themselves, and you're bleeding all over them because they accidentally stepped on a landmine you planted 30 years ago. Truth 1. Your unconscious is running the show. You think you're making choices? You think that when you said yes to that relationship, that job, that friendship, you think that was you. Maybe 10% was you. Maybe 10% was you. The other 90%, that was your unconscious, pulling strings like a drunk puppeteer. Watch yourself next time someone really gets to you. Watch how fast you react. 0 to rage in 2 seconds. 0 to tears. 0 to running away. That's not thought. That's not choice. That's programming, and it's older than your ability to tie your shoes. Jung said it perfectly. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. You will call it fate. Think about that. Every time you say, "Why does this always happen to me?" you're really saying, "Why does this always happen to me?" You're really saying, "Why does my unconscious keep creating the same situation?" Because that's what it does. Your unconscious is like a broken record player, stuck on the same groove, and it will keep playing that song until you grab the needle and move it yourself. But here's what's truly sick about it. Your unconscious loves the familiar. Even if the familiar is pain, especially if the familiar is pain. Because pain, you know, is safer than happiness. You don't. So you pick the partner who abandons you, just like Dad did. You find the friend who uses you, just like your sister. You choose the boss who never sees your worth, just like you never see your own worth. And then you have the audacity to act surprised. Truth 2. What you hate in others' lives in you. That person who drives you absolutely insane. The one whose very existence makes your skin crawl. Congratulations, you've just met a part of yourself. Oh, you don't like that. Too bad. It's true. The arrogant jerk at work who never shuts up about his achievements. There's a part of you that wants to boast but learned it wasn't safe. The needy friend who can't do anything alone. There's a part of you that's terrified of abandonment, but learned independence was the only way to survive. Jung called this projection, and it's happening every second of every day. You're walking around in a hall of mirrors, getting angry at your own reflection. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves, Jung wrote. But nobody wants that understanding. It's so much easier to hate them than to recognize yourself. Watch what happens when someone accuses you of something that's not true. You shrug. You might even laugh. Me? Selfish? Nah, it rolls right off. But accuse you of something that hits close to home? You explode. You defend. You attack back. The lady doth protest too much, and she always has. Because deep down in that place you don't want to look, you know it's true. Not completely true, maybe, but true enough to sting. True enough to threaten the image you've built of yourself as the good one, the victim, the hero of your own story. Truth 3. Your relationships are your therapy, whether you like it or not. Every relationship you're in is trying to heal you, and you're fighting it every step of the way. That partner who pushes all your buttons, they're not sent from hell. They're sent from your psyche. They're custom designed to trigger every unhealed wound you've got, because that's the only way you'll ever pay attention to them. Think about it. When you're alone, you can maintain your illusions. You can pretend you're patient, loving, secure. Then someone gets close enough, and suddenly you're a jealous mess. You're controlling, you're cold, you're clingy. And what do? You blame them for bringing out the worst in you. No, they're bringing out what was already there. They're just the catalyst. You're the chemical reaction waiting to happen. Jung knew this. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Both are transformed. Not just them, not just you. Both. But transformation hurts. It's supposed to hurt. You think a butterfly feels good when it's dissolving into soup inside that chrysalis? You think the caterpillar is having a good time? No, it's dying. The old form has to die for the new one to be born. That's what real relationship is. Not the fairy tale nonsense you've been sold. Not the you complete me garbage. Real relationship is two people agreeing to trigger each other's wounds so they can finally heal them. But most people, they run at the first sign of discomfort. This doesn't feel good anymore. No kidding. Healing never does. Truth 4. You attract your level of emotional development, wondering why you keep attracting broken people. Look in the mirror. Oh, that stings, doesn't it? You want to believe you're healthy and whole, just surrounded by damaged goods. But healthy people don't attract chaos. Water finds its own level, and so do you. If you're attracting partners who can't commit, there's a part of you that doesn't want to commit either. Maybe it's scared. Maybe it was hurt. But it's there, hiding behind your complaints about all the good ones being taken. If you're attracting friends who take advantage, there's a part of you that doesn't believe you deserve reciprocity. You learned somewhere, probably young, that love means giving more than you get, and now you're proving it over and over. Jung understood this. Everything about other people that doesn't satisfy us helps us to better understand ourselves. Read that again. Everything about other people that doesn't satisfy us helps us to better understand ourselves. Not judge ourselves, not hate ourselves, understand ourselves. Because once you understand why you're attracting these people, you can start to heal the part of you that's calling them in. It's like a broken bone that didn't set right. It aches when it rains. It aches when certain people get near. Until you re-break it and let it heal properly, it's going to keep aching. And you're going to keep thinking the rain is the problem. Truth 5. Your wounds are magnets. You know what's irresistible to manipulative people? Unhealed trauma. They can smell it on you like sharks smell blood in the water. That's not a metaphor. It's literally how it works. Your body language changes when you're carrying old wounds. The way you hold yourself, the way you apologize for existing, the way you over-explain, the way you people please, it's all signaling, I'm prey, and predators notice. But here's the twist, it's not really about them. It's about you broadcasting on a frequency that only certain people can hear. Change your frequency, change your crowd. Jung saw this pattern. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, their love is lacking. The people who hurt you, they're operating from power, not love. But why do they pick you? Because somewhere inside, you believe that's what you deserve. Somewhere inside, you're still that kid who learned that love comes with conditions, with pain, with sacrifice. You learned that to be loved, you had to be useful, or perfect, or invisible. And now, 30 years later, you're still being useful, perfect, or invisible, wondering why you feel so empty. The wounds you refuse to look at become the welcome mat for everyone who wants to wipe their feet on you. Truth 6. Boundaries aren't walls, they're your immune system. You know why you keep getting hurt. You don't have boundaries, you have suggestions. Please don't talk to me that way. Suggestions. I prefer if you didn't. Suggestion. I prefer if you didn't. Suggestion. It hurts when you. Suggestion. Boundaries sound like, if you speak to me that way again, this conversation is over. And then you end the conversation, not in an hour, not after they do it 3 more times, immediately. But you won't, because you're terrified of being seen as mean, difficult, selfish. So instead, you're seen as a doormat. And people treat you accordingly. Jung knew about the price of no boundaries. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. You know why that's terrifying? Because accepting yourself completely means accepting that you have the right to say no, the right to disappoint people, the right to disappoint people, the right to protect your own energy. And that means some people won't like you. So what? Let them not like you. Let them call you difficult. Let them say you've changed. You have changed. You've stopped being a self-service station for everyone else's needs. Your boundaries aren't there to punish others. They're there to protect you. They're your psychological immune system. And just like your physical immune system, when it's weak, every little virus gets in. Every emotional vampire. Every energy leech, every person who needs you to stay small so they can feel big. Truth 7. Forgiveness is for you, not them still carrying that grudge from 10 years ago. 5 years ago? Last week. Congratulations. You're drinking poison and waiting for them to die. They've moved on. They probably don't even remember what they did. Meanwhile, you're replaying it every night before bed, having imaginary arguments where you finally say what you should have said. You're letting them hurt you every single day, for free. They did it once. You're doing it 1,000 times. Jung understood this prison. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. What I choose to become. Not what they made me. Not what they did to me. What I choose. But you can't choose when you're dragging the past around like a corpse. You can't become anything new when you're identified with being a victim. And that's what unforgiveness is. It's choosing to remain a victim. It's choosing to give them permanent real estate in your head. It's choosing to let one moment define your entire life. Forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. It doesn't mean you have to let them back in your life. It doesn't mean you pretend it didn't happen. It means you stop letting it own you. It means you take back your power. It means you choose your peace over your need to be right. Because that's what's really keeping you stuck. Your need to be right about how wrong they were. Your need for them to admit it. Your need for justice. Life isn't fair. Justice doesn't always come. And waiting for it is like waiting for a train at an airport. You're in the wrong place, and it's never coming. Truth 8. Your intuition has been trying to warn. You knew. Don't pretend you didn't know. That relationship that exploded? You felt it on the first date. Something was off. But you explained it away. I'm being too picky. I'm overthinking. Give them a chance. That friend who betrayed you, you saw the red flags, the little comments, the broken promises, the way they talked about other people. But you ignored it. Everyone deserves the benefit of the doubt. Your body knew. Your gut knew. That tightness in your chest, that knot in your stomach, that was your intuition screaming at you. And you told it to shut up. Jung recognized this self-betrayal. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. Who looks inside awakes. Who looks inside awakes. But waking up means admitting you've been asleep. It means admitting you chose comfort over truth, hope over evidence. Every time you override your intuition, you're basically saying, I know better than millions of years of evolution. I know better than my own deepest wisdom. How's that working out for you? Your intuition isn't some mystical woo-woo nonsense. It's your unconscious mind processing thousands of microsignals that your conscious mind is too slow to catch. It's pattern recognition at a level beyond thought. But you've been trained to ignore it, to be nice, to not judge, to give everyone endless chances. Meanwhile, your intuition is watching you walk into the same trap again and again, like a horror movie where you're screaming at the screen, "Don't go in the basement!" But you go in the basement. Every single time. Truth 9. Anger is your friend. You've just been introduced wrong. You think anger is bad. You think being Zen means never getting pissed off. Wrong. Anger is information. Anger is energy. Anger is your psyche saying, enough. But you've been taught to fear it. Nice people don't get angry. Good people turn the other cheek. Spiritual people are always calm. Bullshit. Jung said it straight. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Your anger is trying to teach you something. It's trying to show you where your boundaries have been crossed, where your values have been violated, where you've been betraying yourself. But instead of listening to it, you shove it down. You smile when you want to scream. You say, "It's fine," when it's not fine. You turn into a pressure cooker and then wonder why you eventually explode over something stupid like someone leaving a dish in the sink. That's not about the dish. That's about the 100 times you said yes when you meant no. The 1,000 moments you smiled when you wanted to speak up. The million ways you've abandoned yourself to keep the peace. Anger isn't the problem. Suppressed anger is the problem. Misdirected anger is the problem. But clean, honest anger, that's rocket fuel for change. Next time you feel it rising, don't push it down. Ask it what it's trying to tell you. What boundary needs setting? What truth needs speaking? What part of you needs defending? Your anger is your inner warrior trying to protect you. Stop treating it like an enemy and start treating it like the ally it's trying to be. Truth 10. You're addicted to familiar pain. You say you want healthy love, but you're bored when someone treats you well. You say you want peace, but you create drama. You say you want to heal, but you keep picking at the wound. Know why? Because pain is your comfort zone. That sounds insane, but it's true. Your nervous system is calibrated to chaos. Peace feels threatening. Love feels suspicious. Kindness feels like a trap. So you sabotage. You pick fights with the good ones. You find flaws that aren't there. You create problems because problems feel like home. Jung understood this pattern. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But who you truly are got buried under who you had to be to survive. And who you had to be to survive is addicted to survival mode. You're still fighting battles that ended 20 years ago. You're still protecting yourself from threats that no longer exist. You're still the kid who learned that love is unpredictable, safety is an illusion, and the other shoe is always about to drop. So you drop it yourself. At least that way, you're in control. But control is an illusion too. You're not in control. You're in a pattern, a loop, a habit so deep you don't even know you're in it. Breaking free requires something terrifying. You have to let yourself be happy. You have to let yourself be loved. You have to let yourself feel safe. And every cell in your body will fight you on it. Truth 11. Healing happens in relationship. You can't think your way out of relational wounds. You can't meditate them away. You can't journal yourself into wholeness. You were wounded in relationship and you'll heal in relationship. But not the relationships you're used to, not the ones that confirm your worst beliefs about yourself, the ones that challenge them, the ones that see you differently than you see yourself. Jung knew this. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Both are transformed. That means you have to be willing to be changed. You have to be willing to be wrong about who you are. You have to be willing to let someone see you, really see you, and love you anyway. That's terrifying when you've spent your whole life believing you're unlovable. When you've built armor so thick you've forgotten what your own skin feels like. When you've been performing for so long, you don't know who you are without the mask. But here's the truth. The right people will love you more without the mask. The right people want the real you, not the performance. The right people are waiting for you to drop the act. You just have to be brave enough to disappoint the wrong people first. So here you are, sitting with these truths like stones in your stomach, knowing that tomorrow you'll wake up and face the same patterns, the same people, the same pain. Unless you decide that knowing is enough. Unless you decide that consciousness is worth more than comfort. Unless you decide that your wounds have controlled your life long enough. Jung gave us the map. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. What I choose to become. Not what your parents made you. Not what your ex destroyed in you. Not what your trauma dictated. What you choose. But choosing requires consciousness. It requires looking at the ugly truth of how you've been complicit in your own suffering. How you've been choosing the familiar pain over the unfamiliar possibility of joy. It requires admitting that the common denominator in all your painful relationships is you. Not because you're bad or broken or deserving of pain, but because you're unconscious. And unconscious people create unconscious patterns. Wake up. Wake up to the games you're playing. Wake up to the stories you're telling. Wake up to the wounds you're nursing like treasured pets. Wake up to the fact that you have more power than you've been pretending to have. Because that's what this is really about. Power. Not power over others. Power over yourself. Power to choose differently. Power to break the pattern. Power to heal. You've been giving that power away your whole life. To anyone who reminded you of your original wound. To anyone who confirmed your worst fears about yourself. To anyone who let you stay small and safe and suffering. Take it back. Take back your power to say no. Take back your power to trust yourself. Take back your power to choose who has access to you. Take back your power to heal. Because here's the final truth, the one Jung spent his whole life pointing to. You're not as damaged as you think you are. You're not as powerless as you've been acting. You're not as stuck as you believe. You're just unconscious. And unconsciousness is a choice. Every time you blame them instead of looking within, that's a choice. Every time you repeat the pattern instead of breaking it, that's a choice. Every time you choose familiar pain over unfamiliar growth, that's a choice. Make a different choice. Choose consciousness, even when it hurts. Choose growth, even when it's scary. Choose healing, even when every cell in your body is screaming at you to stay safe in your suffering. Because the alternative is living the same year 70 times and calling it a life. The alternative is dying with the same wounds you were born with, having passed them on to everyone you claimed to love. The alternative is never knowing who you could have been if you'd been brave enough to heal. Jung left us with one final gift. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. All the barriers within yourself, not out there. In here, in you. The call is coming from inside the house. It always was. And now that you know that, now that you can't unknow it, you have a choice to make. Keep letting people hurt you by staying unconscious. Keep playing the victim while secretly being the casting director of your own tragedy. Keep choosing pain because at least it's familiar. Or wake up. Look at your patterns without flinching. Feel your wounds without numbing. Meet your shadow without running. And then, maybe for the first time in your life, choose something different. Choose to heal. Choose to grow. Choose to become conscious. Choose to stop abandoning yourself. Because that's what all of this is really about. Every person who's ever hurt you was just reflecting the original hurt, the ways you learned to hurt yourself. the ways you learned to abandon yourself, the ways you learned that you weren't worth protecting. They were all just actors in the play you wrote before you could write. And you've been performing it ever since, wondering why the ending never changes. Change the script, fire the actors, burn down the whole damn theater if you have to. But stop, just stop pretending you're powerless in your own story. You're the author. You always were. Start writing something better. The pen is in your hand. It always was. You just convinced yourself you were just a character at the mercy of other people's plots. No more. No more giving your power to people who don't deserve it. No more staying small to make others comfortable. No more choosing suffering because it's safer than joy. No more unconsciousness masquerading as fate. Jung devoted his life to one message. Wake up, become conscious, integrate your shadow, own your projections, take back your power. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not when you've read enough books or done enough therapy or finally feel worthy. Now, because every moment you wait is another moment you're choosing to stay asleep. Another moment you're choosing to let your wounds run your life. Another moment you're choosing pain over possibility. And you've wasted enough moments already. The people who hurt you, they were just messengers. Terrible messengers with terrible delivery, but messengers nonetheless. They were showing you where you were still unconscious, still wounded, still abandoning yourself. Thank them silently for the lesson, and then let them go. Let them all go. Every person who confirmed your worst beliefs about yourself, let them go. They've served their purpose. They've shown you what you needed to see. Now it's time to see something different. It's time to see who you are without your wounds running the show. Who you are when you're not trying to prove or defend or hide. Who you are when you're conscious. That person, the real you underneath all the armor and patterns and pain. That person is worth meeting. That person is worth meeting. That person is worth becoming. That person is worth the terrifying work of healing. But you have to choose it every day, every hour. Every time you want to fall back into unconscious patterns, you have to choose consciousness instead. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. It's also the only thing worth doing, because the alternative is this: more of the same, more pain, more patterns, more people reflecting your wounds back to you until you finally pay attention. How much more pain do you need before you're willing to wake up? How many more relationships have to fail in the same way? How many more times do you need to be hurt in exactly the same spot? The universe will keep sending you the same lesson in different costumes until you learn it. That's not punishment, that's persistence. That's love, actually. The kind of love that won't let you stay small and suffering when you were meant for so much more. Jung knew this. He lived this. He showed us the way. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Who you truly are. Not who trauma made you. Not who you had to become to survive. Not who you pretend to be loved. Who you truly are. That person is waiting. Has always been waiting. Will always be waiting. The question is, how long will you make them wait? How long will you choose the familiar pain over the unfamiliar possibility of being whole? The door is open. It's always been open. You've just been looking at the walls, convinced you're trapped. You're not trapped. You never were. You're just scared, and that's okay. Be scared, and that's okay. Be scared and do it anyway. Be terrified and take the step. Be shaking and choose differently, because on the other side of that fear is freedom. On the other side of consciousness is choice. On the other side of healing is a life where people can't hurt you the same way anymore. Not because you built better walls, because you've healed the wounds they were targeting. Not because you've found better people, because you've become a better version of yourself. Not because the world has changed, because you have. That's the promise. That's the possibility. That's the point of all of Jung's work, distilled down to its essence. You can wake up. You can heal. You can become conscious. You can choose differently. But only you can choose it. Only you can do the work. Only you can decide that you've suffered enough. Have you suffered enough yet? Or do you need another round? Another relationship that ends the same way? Another person holding up the mirror you refuse to look into? The choice is yours. It always was. Choose wisely. Choose bravely. Choose consciously. Choose yourself. For once in your life, choose yourself. The wounded you. The shadow you. The parts you've been running from. Choose all of it. Integrate all of it. Become all of it. Because that's what wholeness is. It's not getting rid of the dark parts. It's bringing them into the light. It's not becoming perfect. It's becoming complete. And complete people can't be hurt the same way anymore. They can be disappointed, sure. They can grieve. They can feel. But they can't be destroyed by someone else's unconsciousness because they're no longer unconscious themselves. That's the gift waiting for you on the other side of this work. That's the freedom Jung was pointing to. That's the life that's possible when you finally wake up. The alarm is ringing, has been ringing, will keep ringing until you answer it. Time to wake up, time to heal, time to become who you truly are. The world is waiting for that person. More importantly, you are waiting for that person. More importantly, you are waiting for that person. Stop making yourself wait. Start now, right now, with the next choice you make. Choose consciousness, choose healing, choose yourself, and watch how quickly your whole world changes when you do. That's not a promise, that's just physics. Change the internal, and the external has no choice but to follow. Jung knew it, now you know it too. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it?